You have always deserved love. And some beliefs are just keeping you from allowing that love in, because the love is there. It's all around you. It's abundant. It's not scarce. It is there. But you recognizing it and allowing it in has a lot to do with the beliefs that you have. And we can change beliefs, we can heal beliefs. So these are just 10 beliefs that you might recognize now that you think, oh, well, yeah, then I just have to heal these. And that's possible. So the first one is, I am a bad person. Pretty much every single fearful avoidant has this belief that they are a bad person in some way or another. So it could be, I'm a bad person because I hurt other people. It could be, I'm a bad person because I'm lazy. It could be because it could be so many things. But I am a bad person will keep you from allowing love because you don't want to hurt others. And this is just always so, I pretty much always get emotional talking about this, because you believe that you are a bad person. A lot of fearful avoidants believe that they are bad people, and yet so much of what they do to protect others. And that is just such a loving thing to do. And I just want you to realize how loving you are. So this belief is not serving you. You are not a bad person. You are not inherently a bad person. But it will keep you from finding love, allowing love in, because you are actually trying to protect that other person from yourself, which is not needed, because you are not a bad person. The second one is, I am too much or difficult or a burden. A lot of fearful avoidants feel like they were the reason that their parent was angry or judgmental or critical. Instead of that just being them, the child will always take that responsibility on themselves. So when your parent was angry or judgmental or critical, it could be that you concluded, oh, I am just difficult. I'm a difficult child. I'm a burden. I'm too much. And especially when your parents were very busy and things had to go a certain way. Children don't do certain ways and having to do things a certain way. So that wasn't you personally. That's just what children do. And some parents get very frustrated with that, and some parents just know that that's what happens with children, and they have to kind of go with the flow and adapt sometimes. So if you've had a parent that doesn't know that children just, have their own agenda sometimes, or their own way of doing things, which is actually probably better and more in tune, then they might make you feel like you're difficult or you're a burden, and you're not. You never were. Another belief is, I am always doing something wrong. I'm always doing something wrong. This is definitely true when you've had a very judgmental or critical parent who would just correct your behavior constantly, instead of saying, oh, this is interesting behavior. What would it come from? What is underlying this? What would my child need? There's not too many parents that have that mindset. I don't actually know how many, but especially in the fearful avoidant parents, the mindset is usually, my child has to behave a certain way, and if they don't, I have to correct that behavior. That means I'm a good parent, which is not true. But that will cause the child to think, I am always doing something wrong, because the parent is just on your case all the time. I distinctly remember the moment that my parents learned that actually might not be the best tactic. And I think they heard it from like a befriended psychologist or something. And they were having a lot of trouble with me. I was 13 at the time, and really, hitting puberty hard, being very insecure, just having so much pent up anger and bottled up emotions. And looking back on it, I can see why, because up to that point, I was corrected on everything I did wrong constantly. And then I was 13, and I remember coming home, and my parents asked how my day was, and I said something about it, and it wasn't positive. So I was just expecting to, get the whole, how do you say that? Them being mad. And they weren't. They ignored that, and then they focused on something I did right. And I was like, what is happening? What is this? whoa, this is unusual. And it was so good. It was so good to experience that. And they really tried their hardest to keep doing that throughout my puberty. And I think that really helped a lot. But they just didn't know before that, you know. They thought they were doing the right thing. And it was just causing me to actually feel like I was always doing something wrong. So it didn't matter what I did. So yeah, I did still have this feeling growing up and being a grown up until a couple of years ago that I am just always doing something wrong. Like everything I was doing, it was just almost how do you say that? I took it for granted that it was always wrong, which makes, you know, looking forward to your day and to your life less easy. I think it can contribute to depression, and which I had for a long time. So yeah, releasing this has definitely helped a lot. But it's a common fearful avoidant belief. I'm always doing something wrong. Another common fearful avoidant belief is I always hurt others. No matter what I do, I always end up hurting others because I am just a bad person and I hurt others. Yeah, no matter whether you remember distinctly hurting others as a child or not, it can very well be that your parents just made you feel this way by the way they saw you or the way they behaved towards you. But it's never true that you always hurt others, because I truly believe that people are inherently good and we have good and bad in us. And the wolf you feed will determine who you are most of the time. So yeah, you will hurt others because you're human, and being human is messy, and sometimes we do that. But you don't always hurt others. That is just not true. Another belief is I will fuck up sooner or later. And that is just a very tense feeling to live with, to always have this belief with you that sooner or later I will fuck up. And therefore, when things are going right and you are feeling good, that makes you tense even more. Like, oh, now I have to make sure I am perfect and I keep doing things perfectly because I will fuck up sooner or later and I just don't know when. And you don't trust yourself. You don't trust yourself to just have it be good and not fuck up. I will disappoint sooner or later is another belief that a lot of fearful avoidants have. This is also a very dismissive, a very common one in dismissive avoidance attachment style. It just has no use because I will disappoint. Sooner or later, I will disappoint. Another one is I can't trust myself. And this might translate into you being afraid that you will cheat on your partner later on. You might not even be in love with anybody else or have feelings for anybody else. You're just really afraid that in like 5 or 10 years you will meet somebody and that you will cheat and you can't help yourself. You don't trust yourself when it comes to self-sabotage. You notice that you're self-sabotaging and you're just tense about when that is going to happen. So not trusting yourself is definitely also a fearful avoidant belief. I don't get relationships. There are fearful avoidants who don't have this belief, who feel like they get it, but they just feel like they have to be perfect for relationships to be safe. This is actually also a dismissive avoidant belief. So if you're fearful avoidant leaning dismissive, you might recognize this more. That you just don't get relationships. It's like you try and that other person still gets mad or is just not happy with you and you're like, oh, I give up. I don't get how it works. And the secret is just learn about healthy relationships and what a secure attachment is. And then you know what to expect, you know what to do, you know when their unhappiness is their unhappiness and it doesn't have anything to do with you. Oh, that just changes so much. And then another fearful avoidant belief is I have to be perfect not to be abandoned. Not good enough, or say the right thing every now and then. No, I have to be absolutely perfect not to be abandoned. And that is something that is unattainable. And therefore you are always afraid that you will be abandoned or rejected. sooner or later. And I have to meet every expectation. So when somebody has an expectation of me, I have to meet that expectation. It doesn't matter if I want to, it doesn't matter if I can, I have to meet that expectation. And that is putting so much pressure on yourself. That's just not doable, really, to meet everybody's expectations, because their expectations are theirs. And of course, if you are in a relationship, in a romantic relationship with people, or in a friendship, it's good to talk about expectations and to see if, when people have expectations of you, if you can meet them. But it's not that you absolutely have to. That every time somebody has an expectation, you have to meet that expectation. And that can free up a lot. So these are just 10, maybe there's more, I don't know, around 10 fearful avoidant beliefs that will stop you from allowing love, because it's just too complicated, it's too hard, you're protecting others by retreating. There's a lot of reasons why with this set of beliefs you are not allowing yourself to find love. So this is just what it is. It's a set of beliefs. None of these is truth. Even if they are so just, I again can't find the word. If they're so normal for you, they can feel like absolute truth, but they're not. Just because you've thought them a lot or they feel so familiar doesn't mean that they are true. Beliefs are there to be adjusted so that they serve you. And if you want to find love and want to allow love and experience love, these beliefs are not serving you. And so we can heal these and change them and have the beliefs that actually will allow you to have that love that you are longing for and that you have always deserved. So this is something we do in my online program, Healed and Happy. If you are interested in that, the link is in the description below. We go to the roots of the fearful avoidant attachment style and to the beliefs of the fearful avoidant attachment style. We just completely change them. And then you can, in 3 to 6 months, have a completely different life and feel completely different. I am so happy you are here, and I will see you in the next one. Healed and Happy is a tailor-made online program where me and my team personally guide you through healing the roots of the fearful avoidant attachment style.